Self-doubt will be your friend or enemy, and you just get to decide how you're going to use it because you're always going to have it. And self-doubt is that uncomfortable place where you sit and you don't know who you are and you can't accept that next place, and you're going to sit in that doubt, and it becomes so uncomfortable. You could become depressed. You could become frightened because something's happening and you're holding on to that self-doubt. But then the other thing, the way that it becomes your friend is when you decide to get over it. Because the only way that you move over your self doubt is to do the thing that you doubt. And so I'm going to explain a little bit of that to you today because it's going to help you today, I know. And the message that I put up today that I did from Wilhelm, actually, I put it up last night. It said you wanted self doubt. And that just doesn't seem to make sense. Or why would you want it? Because typically you won't do anything unless you have it, unless you become uncomfortable enough that you get out of your way. And I will tell you that is the only challenge that you have. The only challenge that any of us have in our lives is that self-doubt, and then staying stuck where we don't do anything about it to alleviate it. And that's what's happening in our world right now, and I absolutely know that too, which is why you could be feeling a little more of that doubt or actually fear. But I'm telling you, that's not what's happening. You're here to evolve. You're here to live this great life, and it's within you. And if you start to do that, you will move over your doubt. And I'll prove it to you today because I'm going to read you that message, and then I will explain a bit more of it. Because I'm going to be giving so many others this understanding of who they are, where they're going in their lives, and what's happening in our world. Nothing happens in your life accidentally. Nothing happens in our world accidentally either. We just figure it out as we live and whenever we might happen to be living. And this time in our world is a dynamic one, which also says to me that you're alive for a really great reason. You may not believe that, but I absolutely know it. Let me read this message to you first, and then we shall talk about it. November 20th, 2024. You wanted self-doubt. While you might believe you wanted to be done with your doubt by now, that would also mean you've decided there is no more for you to gain in this physical life experience. We understand the conditions in your life and world may have been confusing. Still, when you remember what we provided a few years ago, along with the awakening we had in our messenger experience, you will be much further along in actualizing your best self. Then, November 20th, 2020, be patient with yourself as you come to accept your gifts. We know for many that state sentence does not coincide with what you may believe you observe in your world today, but we assure you that is occurring for you. As we have said, you and your world, led by the United States, are experiencing a massive restructuring. It is not difficult for you to notice how uncomfortable and frightening this might be, as most of you resist being with yourselves, which will be required in the coming months for the process of accepting a bigger, more evolved being and world to emerge. If you have read us for a while, you know we have spoken of Roger's reluctance to do the work he felt called to do more than 30 years ago. Roger believed he wasn't capable and left the vocation. As he is restructuring himself, Roger is more willing to accept his gift, but still reluctantly, as you might be doing. But today, he has accepted more of himself, as will you, especially after listening to the video he recorded with more of our messages meant for this time in your world. You will be more willing to embody who you can become. Now is the best time for you to be alive. And as you look at the video, and I'll put a link in here as well, it's on the Any Advice site, but if you look at the video, you will see that there are several messages that go over different years, but all on the same date. That's how Wilhelm gave me information. there's organization in our universe. You have a unique plan that you were meant to live and contribute to our world, and that's why you're here now. And what happens is everything is energy, you see. And so when you start to understand that you have this expansive energy that you can use to create this wonderful life for yourself and move out of all the chaos and everything that else might be going that you might have experienced or what you're witnessing in the world, you heal. And that's the story that I'm going to be giving everyone because I need you to have it. Um, it is never good to hold yourself back, to not honor who you become, because you will become something. Every single person does it. I know this. I've done it for so long. And at 74, I can tell you there's no reason for you not to have everything that you want. There's no reason for you not to be happy and successful and to also heal, because those are the things that Wilhelm gave me that I did with all of this work. But I was reluctant because having you to believe that is really a challenge, because it was a challenge for me. But I'm never going to allow that to hold me back, because I need to give this to more people, as do you. You have no idea who you can become. When you come into the world, you're this blank canvas, and what you have is your consciousness. Your consciousness is going to be formed by everyone around you, your family, your parents, your ancestors, where you grew up, all of that. And so then it becomes your job to decide if you're going to move beyond whatever they might have told you that was limited. That's what we all do. Every person does this. Every soul does that, meaning that you come into the world to become and develop as a soul. It has nothing to do with your family, your friends, or any of that. It's you. So when you can't own who you are, life becomes really uncomfortable. And then you also do not contribute to the world, because we must recognize that we live a certain amount of time. But I know that every single person that's born has something of value that they're meant to bring to the world and to develop. And then as we do that, others can do the same thing, because that's how evolution works. And it's happening over time. That's what goes on. But this particular period, I was given all the information about what was happening and why the world looked the way that it did and why the United States was going through all of that, because it's all energy, it's all alignment, and it's all connected to the galaxies and the universe, and so are you. And the thing that happens is once you start to become aligned with who you are, you heal in ways that you can't imagine. And I can say that because that's what happened for me. I did not know that was going to happen. I'm going to be really clear about that. And I held back. That's why that message says that, because it didn't make sense. How could I have healed everything? How could I have moved through all the fear and the doubt and the anger? That's why I wrote in the book, my book, Overcoming Fear, Guide to Freedom. But I'm saying this today because I know that you can do anything. You can accomplish anything, and because I've been given the work to do that. And it was not easy, because it took me so much struggle and hardship and for many, many years, which is again why I know you don't have to do that. We come to understand that when we live a life, we're meant to develop something and own who we are and bring it to the world, and then know that we've left something of value. Every single person has that. The only thing that goes on is that you've been talked out of it. I was talked out of it because I shouldn't be sitting down and doing channeling and receiving guidance, cosmic guidance that would work for anyone. That made no sense, except it worked. And then I kept hiding it, like you might have done. Because that's what happens. We see this thing that's in front of us. I'm supposed to do that. And then we say, no, it's not me. That's what you've done. And you might be doing it right now because you're going through an ascension process. And so is the world. And that's uncomfortable. That's why you have the dark nights of the soul, where you're sitting alone in your room, just like freaked out. Because the universe is saying, please own yourself. Please become who you are. And please move over your doubt. And so that's what I'm doing today. I'm just wanted to give you this because I know who you are, I know what you can offer, and I can even tell you tomorrow what you should understand. Let me find that for you. Now, that will not make sense, but I know that it's there, and I'm going to find it, and I'm going to read it to you because it's going to help you. You'll have a head start on what you can do tomorrow. It's all in your consciousness, and there is a collective consciousness of which we all exist. We just decide how much we're going to believe ourselves and when. That's all. And today might be the day, because there's an energetic shift today, that you might be more motivated to start to own the importance of your life and what you came to the world to offer. So now I will give you a head start on tomorrow, and it is this message, and you will understand it probably tomorrow, but you can start utilizing it today. And it says this: nothing in your world happens accidentally. It is all a matter of consciousness, and you can elevate yours to manifest the life and world you desire. We provided a message on this date 3 years ago, as we knew where you would be today, and our encouragement is to take the next step in your evolution and aid your planetary ascension. Now it goes back, and you can see November 21st, 2020. The salvation of the world depends on you. Yes, we mean you, or you would not be alive now. We will provide more evidence of why you thought living through a pandemic might be a good idea. We have said you and your world are moving through a mass restructuring, while we know most others, not many who read our words, do not believe they had lived before or had other lifetimes. However, we assure you that is true. Otherwise, you would have a challenging time explaining evolution. That sentence will make sense to you soon. We gave Roger information years ago that informed this current period, but he didn't understand it then, as it was not needed until now. At the end, we will leave a message explaining the meaning of salvation. The point of this message is that everyone was born to evolve in some particular and meaningful way. And this time in your world is helping you when you do not resist the urgent need to release previously held limitations. The big surprise is that the goal is the only one you have in your lifetime. Now, September 28th, 2017, when you understand that the experiences you have had, especially those that you thought were difficult, actually brought you a more significant benefit, that is how salvation feels. When you understand what you thought were unrelated events and circumstances of your life were all woven together to provide you with an almost magical tapestry of your life that you might use to provide even greater benefit to others, that is how salvation feels. When you understand that no one else ever did anything to you, but you allowed those things to occur so you could become your best self, that is how salvation feels. Wilhelm. For 35 years, sitting down every day, every morning, and writing that information and not connecting it to what was happening, just understanding that I was healing in some way that I didn't know, but resisting giving it to the world because I didn't know when it was supposed to happen. Now I understand it was now. And the same is probably true for you. And so I wanted to give you this because, yeah, you're going to see more doubt. You're going to see more uncomfortable things in our world. But that's because you have something to counteract that. And you do it by loving yourself and becoming really happy, abundant, prosperous, whatever that means for you. And you can do it. And I know that because I was given the information, but now I'm going to live it. And I hope you do as well. The world needs you to shine. That is what is happening. It's all up to you. Thank you for being here. Please subscribe to the channel, share it with others, and I will have much more information for you because I'm going to start putting out the information about the actual process, how you can heal, mind-body healing, all of those things. And so that's all the work that Wilhelm has given me, and we will all benefit from it. All right. See you soon.